What's up, guys? This is Destiny Cat, bringing you my next episode of Injustice 2 Tips and Tricks, and today we're going to be discussing a very common little strategy that a lot of new players, including myself in the beginning, and sometimes even now, have so many like nightmares. It's crazy. This little strategy is called zoning. Zoning is classified as a strategy where you stay full screen and you use projectiles or long-ranging moves to keep your opponent in the other side of the screen, or away from you. It's also called keep away, and some people who, by the way, I don't agree with, call it spamming. And we're going to discuss all these like different terms and what they mean, and go into in this episode we're going to go into zoning. Not only how to play zoning, but also how to play against zoning. And it's hopefully going to teach you guys a lot of things, especially you newer players out there who generally don't have a lot of experience with fighting games in general. Hopefully, this particular video will show you a lot about how to deal with zoning, because I know that a lot of new players have a lot of struggles against it. So let's just get into it right away. Zoning. First of all, I want to say zoning is not a less good strategy or a scrubby strategy compared to a strategy like rushdown. In fact, it's the opposite. Zoning is a very skill-intensive strategy. It can be abused as well. There's some people who are absolutely horrible at it, but it's one of those strategies that you can be very good at if you put a lot of time into it, and that's why we consistently see zoning at a high level. Dr. Fate, Starfire, Deadshot back in the day. These characters are all characters who like to zone, and they do very well at zoning, especially Dr. Fate right now. Dr. Fate and Starfire are like mind-blowingly good at zoning. It's almost so good that it becomes some matches have become almost impossible to win because of how good the zoning is at keeping that character at bay. I want to get into some little things about zoning, but also I want to show you guys some games that I've played personally, where I've had to either do zoning or deal with zoning. Going to do commentary on some of my own games today as well in this episode. That'll be later on, and then you guys can kind of get a better understanding, maybe hopefully, of how at least I deal with zoning and what you should think about when dealing with zoning. So let's talk about first, before we get into those videos. First off, how to zone. Well, it's not as easy as just staying full screen in front of projectiles. If you think that, then you are very wrong, because zoning is kind of a reaction game. When people jump at you, you shoot them out of the air. When they duck, you chip them out of projectiles, and it's not very just spamming projectiles, because when you throw projectiles out, you try to do it in at times where people are doing something that's bad, let's say jumping or dashing, and you react to the dash by throwing a projectile at them. It's kind of like that. And a good zoner is classified and known for being good at, especially this, reacting to what people do and throw projectiles in reaction. That's really what zoning is all about, and that's what is the difference between a good zoner and a bad zoner. That's what you really have to understand, because I believe the only way to learn how to defeat or defend against different strategies in fighting games or in general is to first understand what the strategies do and how they work. Another thing that zoning does, it does a lot of good things for you, or for the player who zones. One of the things it does is that obviously it keeps your opponent away with not a lot of effort. You don't have to put a lot of thought into reads, because it's basically just based on reads and reactions. Not a lot of it though. It's not like you have to do this in case someone else does. It's always like shoot a projectile no matter what the opponent does on full screen. That's basically how it is. When the closer the opponent gets to you when you're zoning, the harder it becomes for you to win the game. That's what you have to keep in mind. You have to always stay at that magic little spot where you can keep some projectiles and they can't punish you for doing it. That's the idea of zoning. That's really what you want to keep in mind. That's why good zoners won't generally throw projectiles up close, because they know that they'll get punished for it. Unless you're playing a character like Beetle, who has like a really fast projectile, you can sometimes get away with that. But that's beside the point. So what else does zoning do for you? Well, it keeps the opponent away, of course, which is always a good thing, because why would you want to engage in some kind of bad like situation if you don't have to? Zoning is so good at like keeping the opponent at bay. Another thing it does is that it builds a lot of bar. You get a lot of bar for zoning. You get so much bar that you don't even know what to do with all that bar. And you'll see that in my commentary of one of my games later, that I built so much bar in that game that it's almost impossible for opponents to do anything about it. Bar is so important. Remember, meter is really important in Injustice 2 and in other fighting games as well. Most fighting games have some kind of meter system. But in Injustice 2, zoning builds you a shit ton of bar. Like a shit ton. Like, no joke, you build like 1 bar in less time than the opponent can say, what the fuck? It's literally that crazy. It's always all about the bar for zoners. You really want that bar, because usually there's a meter bend version of the projectile that is way more crazy than the normal version, and that obviously if you have a lot of bar you can just do that without worrying about losing a lot of bar. You can zone, you can get bar, and you can still have enough bar to clash. That's the idea. You can use the bar to all kinds of things when you zone, and you still have enough bar to clash or do other things you want to do, or break, or whatever else other fighting game you're playing. In Mortal Kombat it's a breaker you want to have if you're playing a zoning character, but still, you get the idea. There's this little thing I like to tell myself when I play against zoners. A little tip that I like to give you guys here, and you remember this. Obviously, you should remember ZIG, because ZIG means zoning is golden. That's the idea. You want to remember those, like shortening of words. Like last time was SOSA, but this video is all about CIG. CIG is what you wanna like know about. CIG is basically what this video is all about. You wanna remember that term, that phrase. Zoning is golden. CIG. A little tip, like I said, that I would like to tell myself is I like to tell myself this, and it helps me to deal with zoners. And it's a little thing I call little sentence actually. It goes like this. Zoning characters are like snakes or pythons, or whatever you want to call them. Basically, zoning characters are exactly like snakes. If you don't do anything about them, then they choke you to death. They strangle you. They get a hold of your neck and they strangle you. Either by chipping you with projectiles or by running out of time. The time runs out, they have more life, and then they win. They strangle you to death. So the way to beat zoners is by doing something. You want to find that specific spot where you can do something against the zoning, but you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to go into a situation where they can react to that and then push you back full screen again. You can be in that situation where you just go back and forth on the screen. I know a lot of people have been in this situation where you're fighting against a zoning character and you get in close, but then they push you back, and then you get in close again, and then they push you back again, and this keeps going back and forth, and there's nothing you can do about it. This is a situation you want to avoid. This is almost worse than being zoned out, because at least with zoning out you kind of know what's going on. With this, it's kind of like start back forward game. I've been in this situation countless times, and every time I'm in this situation I learn something new about it. A lot of people I talk about, they think that you get in and you win against zoners. Well, that's simply not true, because they have so many opportunities when you get in to push you back full screen again. At least good zoning characters can do that, like push you back full screen with ease. And that's what you want to look out for. It's not the getting in, it's the staying in that matters. You can get in as many times as you want, but that's not gonna win you the game. What's gonna win you the game is your ability to stay close to them. Stay close to the zone, don't let him breathe. You want to basically do a little reverse psychology on him. You want to be... It starts up by the zoner being the snake, and you being the little mouse, because you get choked from full screen with projectiles. But then as the game progresses, you become the snake that chokes the mouse in the corner. That's where you want to be against zoners. The corner. The corner is so important for so many characters already, and so many strategies already. But against zoners, it's even more important, because when you get them in the corner, it can be very, 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 very hard for zoning characters to get out of it. That's really what you want to do here. Alright, let's. I'm gonna jump into those games that I was talking about, and I'm going to basically do some commentary on those games. These games are a little bit old. They are before the last patch, so they're kind of old. But hopefully you'll learn something about how to deal with zoners. One of the games will be it'll be against the same. Both games are against the same guy. And in the first game, I zoned him out relentlessly. And next game, he tried to zone me out, and then I basically counter him. I get in on him. So I'm going to show these videos to give you a little bit of background as to how I think when I generally fight against zoners, and how I think when I zone someone out. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, first game against this guy. I picked my beetle. right off the bat because I know that I don't know what the guy's playing obviously, so I just pick Beetle. He picks Swamp Thing, and I know already what this matchup is all about. Basically, I just want to zone. That's it. The game is that's how the matchup goes. You just want to zone. I'm playing ranked here, so I just zone. Basically, I just zone through the whole game pretty much. And you'll see right away I jump back and do a projectile. Like I think like yeah, here we go. Get that bar, and I want you to really pay attention to a couple of things. I want you to pay attention to how limited Swamp Thing is to what he can do from full screen. But also I want you to pay attention to how much bar I built. Look at all that meter. Look down there. Look at that corner. Down there, left corner. Look how much bar I built. It's almost ridiculous. I already have a bar. Now I have a bar again. Stupid. Ridiculous. Give me all that meter. It's almost like I'm not even trying at this point, and my opponent is kind of confused. I don't think he knows what to do against zoning. So meter burn that to get him full screen or half screen, and I just kind of zone him. I just kind of chill back and I go in a little bit because I feel like he's getting a little bit too close, and then I push him back with shields. Just kind of keep him on the toes, kind of want him to move, and then I kind of want to punish him. He tries to tee back because he knows he's not going to win. He already feels the pressure. At this point, it's pretty much a win for me. It's very hard for my opponents to do much because not only do I have the life lead, but I also have more bar. He tries desperately to go for back 3 here, and I think that he goes for forward 3 as well. Here's a throw, pretty cool. Forward 3, he actually get hit by it here. A lot of bad players or new beginning players, they will do a lot of meter burn back 3s and forward 3s. And it's not that the move is bad, it's just that when you overuse a move, it becomes much easier to predict. Cancel that forward 3 just to keep him on his toes a bit. And he's not ready for the overhead projectile here. And at this point, it's kind of sketchy. I don't see him winning this at all, and I don't think he does either. It seems very. And here's what I was talking about earlier. Look, I'm the snake here, and he's the mouse. He chilled out there for way too long, and I just choked him. I am strangling him right now. I am putting my hands around his fat, Swamp Thing tree neck, and I'm just choking the fuck out of him. And that's what happens here. And the next game, we'll see the exact opposite happening to him, so let's get into it here. Alright, this game we play again, and this time he picks Darkside. And I'm like, okay, well now I can't zone anymore. Obviously, now the match is going to be a little bit different. Now I'm actually going to be the one trying to advance. And again, very important against zoning characters like Darkside and Starfire and Dr. Fate that you don't give them the initiative. You don't want to be the little mouse trapped under the big snake and getting choked from full screen with those projectiles. And again, if you don't do anything, they just choke you. You want to do as much as possible, but you don't want to overcommit to something because then it becomes too predictable, and then they throw you full screen and we can start all over again. You wanna do this kind of little dance where you go in and then you go a little bit back. You go in, you go a little bit back, and you play a very cautious but yet very aggressive game because you know that you have to be more aggressive than him. And here we go. He's trying to zone me here, and I just kind of duck, casually. He goes for teleport. 4-3 hits me, but luckily he doesn't get a lot of damage off that. Obviously, this guy's not the best Darkside player in the world, but he's like this was the only Darkside footage I had right now. But don't worry about it because a lot of Darkside players will play like he does. Obviously, some Darkside players are much better than this guy, so it's not always you're gonna beat zoners, but hopefully this video gives you a little bit more, a better understanding at least of how I deal with zoning characters and how I zone. So here you go. Very simple right now, very hard for him to win because I have such a high life lead. Another little key thing that all you zoners want to know is that if you don't have a life lead or similar life or something, if your opponent has more life than you have and you try to zone, it's usually a losing battle because you can't really zone someone who has more life than you. Here I read the teleport, or react to the teleport rather. I go for the super move and I just kill him here. And you can just see how well I reacted and play that little dance game with the snake, and eventually I beat him here. So yeah, that's definitely what you want to be doing in these kind of matchups. Alright guys, so hopefully that gave you a better understanding of how I personally deal with zoning and how I zone characters who, well, basically don't think that zoning is a noobish or scrubby strategy, because it really isn't. It's a very crazy strategy that works against a lot of players. It's played so much at a high level because of the fact that it's really good. Zoning is one of the strongest tools in Injustice 2, and you it's very foolish to think that it's like something only noobs do, and spamming isn't really a thing. Spamming is just something that, you know, people made up because they don't like losing to zoning. It's basically the my impression of it anyway. I don't think that spamming is really a bad thing. I think people are allowed to, if something is good, if a move is good, you should be allowed to do that move all you want. Even though it seems a little bit scrubby to do, but you know, don't worry about that. You know, just kind of don't worry about what people tell you to do or don't do. Basically, unless that thing you're doing is very bad and you're losing games because of it. A lot of people need to be convinced that what they're doing is bad in order for them to change and, you know, try to learn something new about fighting games and stuff like that. But basically, just, you know, play very solid is what I'm saying. And if that means zoning, then do it, man. I actually think that a lot of new players should definitely try playing a zoning character, because it's not as stressing as playing a rushdown or, you know, combo heavy character. You can learn a lot about the matchups by playing a character like Dr. Fate or Starfire. Especially Fate, man. Fate is not that hard to pick up. He's hard to play high level, but he's not that hard to pick up for new players and do well with him. I think that you can beat good players, and maybe even insanely good players, by, you know, brushing up on that Dr. Fate tech, man. You rock, man. Just go for it. Don't be afraid of, like, people telling you that, oh, it's lame that you're playing a zoning character, because it's not. It's a part of the game, and you should be allowed to use characters that are in strategies that are part of the game. Anyway, guys, that is it for me right now. This has been episode 2 of you know, Injustice 2 tips and tricks, titled "Zoning is Golden." If you are enjoying the series, then please leave a comment down below telling me how I'm doing, and if there's something that you think I should cover, then please tell me down below. My next video is if like people don't you know, recommend something for next episode that they really want to see. My next episode is definitely going to be all about footsies. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is DestinyCat249 signing out.